So application, we're towards the end. We're at the end actually of self UI. Let's talk about application. At the basic level, applying self UI is demonstrated in delivering a simple invitation to someone to change your behavior. Maybe go to the movies with you, or go help you move if you're moving into a new house. Whatever it is, inviting somebody is influencing somebody to do something, change their behavior in a way that is helping you. So that's at the basic level. And that requires some presence, that requires confidence, that requires alignment on your part, that requires that self-regulation, that requires you having the presence to be able to deliver that invitation. It's very basic, but it's also a demonstration of these concepts. At the advanced level application of this is to deliver an implied invitation to change behavior. Quick example of this. I was at the end of our mission in Colombia. So I was in Colombia at the end of the mission, and I was engaging with the commander of the Colombian PSYOP program. And I'd become friends with him. We generated a friendship. And so we were chatting. He was so excited about the results of the mission that we had just had. And he asked me, he said, Sergeant Robson, he said, wasn't it great? Like the whole mission, we had the mayor there, we had everyone there, and we had performers. Everyone just loved it. I was like, yeah, Commander, Colonel Karan. I said, Colonel Karan, it was awesome. If you want to be a party planner. And he was taken back. And I had this rapport with him. I could speak to him like this. And I said it with a smile. It wasn't meant to offend, but it was meant to prove a point. He said, what do you mean? I said, if we're just out here having events for military purposes to make people happy, that's one thing. We're kind of just party planners. But I know that you're looking for legitimacy within the ranks, within the Colombian ranks. And legitimacy in military operations requires measurable results. And I supplied your soldiers with a survey for them to implement and get feedback from those people that were there so that we can measure the tone and the temperature of the event. And specific questions like, how do you feel about the Colombian military? Do you feel safer with the Colombian military? Do you feel safer with them there? And so these were kind of some of the questions, because these were what we were trying to do. The objective was to create a better relationship between the Colombian military and the local citizens, so that when bad guys came around, they would turn them in because they trusted them. And so I said, if we're trying to measure and be a military operation, you have to measure the effects of the operation. Otherwise, we're just planning parties. And all of a sudden, I knew what his desire was, and I knew what his identity was. His identity was, I am the leader of a legitimate operation. And I knew that the opposite of that would create change if he thought that the perception was not that. And so I showed him the negative side of his identity, that we're just being party planners. We're not being legitimate unless we do this action. He tied the action to legitimacy, and I implied the invitation, didn't give it to him literally, say, go teach everyone this. I just said, we need to make sure we measure things from here on out, I think. And if we want to be legitimate. He took that and he went to all the classrooms and he taught it, and he was excited. He even forgot that I told him to do it. He thought somebody else did. But I knew where it came from. It came from the implied invitation to change behavior. So there's some tools, books, and references I use with self-UI. Robert Dill's book, From Coach to Awakener, is great. It really outlines the logic levels process. And then Kerry Spackman, he's from New Zealand, and the book, The Winner's Bible, it's actually way more dense than what it seems. It's it's based in science and very, very good. He has a companion app with that, the Winner's Bible app there. And I use that for my morning ritual and visualization. You can put kind of your goals and you can put images in there. It's pretty cool. I use the Wim Hof method or something like it for breathing. I actually created some music to close my eyes and listen to, and I journal. That's kind of part of my tools some of the references I've used in being able to kind of enhance self and unconventional influence of the self. Obviously, Chase Hughes in his book on the Ellipsis Manual and 6MX and some of the new works coming out, that's Bible, that's given. That some of that stuff is going to help you in that self being able to be more effective in the face-to-face. In fact, part of the effectiveness, I attribute my effectiveness in Columbia was because I linked up with Chase and was able to kind of learn some of the stuff that he teaches.